morning. Hi, here's Hannah. Chicken?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Thursday morning. It's a lovely grey one. Lovely. Yeah. There was a very, very brief shower here yesterday. I don't know if that was the attempt at the forecast thunderstorm or whatever, but yeah. And the grass has grown to
Quite.
an exponential level.
A lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mission tomorrow.
It's
or
so
Saturday.
green, like it's really.
It's gone super.
Do you know,
duper.
tomorrow Saturday, like
Yeah.
there's no way of getting it mowed before the rain starts today.
Not really. Well, maybe, yeah, actually. But I've got. This is a big day. It was a big day
Because that
yesterday.
was looking jungly.
Big day in. I finally got into a new notebook, and I mentioned this to. So I was talking to her last night on a video, and she said that she was actually excited for me. It was that thing of the new stationery. She actually said, first thing she said was, "I hope you've written neatly on the first page." For me, yes, I have.
I've been married to him for 14 years and I still can't read it.
This is integral
Need
list
some
to
of
how
the
this day
videos.
is gonna. So videos, weights exercises, so more videos. Another
No,
video.
you can read it, that's not the question.
This is why I do a lot of videos. This is what she's saying. I get it. Yeah, you're right, Ham. This is why I do a lot of videos, because it allows to talk slowly, slow enough. It's better that I talk rather than write things down.
Yeah.
That's why, actually, email is a very good form of correspondence for me, because a written letter requires a team of specialists from all walks of life to come and decipher what I've written. I used to say to the kids when I was teaching that if you can read my writing from the board, it's a skill for life. You'll be able to read any writing that you ever come across. So they more appreciate the PowerPoints that I used to make. So I'm quite good at making PowerPoints for that reason. I know the limitations, work around them.
Right, I know PowerPoint is something that is used still, but it's one of those things that feels like it comes from the same era of like fax machines.
See, you're
Or
thinking of PowerPoint.
Phones that are attached to the
No.
wall.
You're thinking of PowerPoint in the same context as overhead projectors.
No, I'm not. I know what a
Yes.
PowerPoint is.
Overhead projectors.
Oh, HPs. Do you know? Okay,
Amazing.
so you didn't grow up going to church.
But I did go up in a Church of England school with the same principal.
Oh, yes. Where they did the songs on the acetates.
But
And then they might put them upside down. And if you were the one chosen to put the songs on the acetates, on the OHP, you felt like super special. That was like getting Star of the Week.
But when we had to learn, I went to Church of England primary school, so we had the same principal as that.
Yeah,
Some of the
that was
acetates
from
were,
school, I mean, not
yeah,
from...
some of the acetates were so, the kind of standard ones, they must have bought them in from a company because they had like a cardboard edging.
The good fancy ones.
Placed it on. I mean, the typing was still kind of like the only font available from a typewriter type font. We're talking, when I went to school in
you are old,
1983. Went to primary school in
I
1983.
was only born in
I know.
1982.
I know. So I went to primary school in 1983. If you're learning a new song, then usually the head teacher.
Oh, that made me quite happy.
And in those days, he really was a head teacher. He kind of taught as much as he was doing head teacher stuff. He'd put a piece of paper on. He had to learn each bit. He'd move it down. How the piece of paper never caught fire because it's quite a bright light. But and then like you say, I've learnt that bit. Now I'm going to turn it upside down so you can just read it if you need to. But I want you to actually, I really want you to know it by
No,
now.
I don't mean that. Our teacher didn't do that. I just mean like, because we were like, sometimes the kids were allowed to be the one that did the OHP.
Ah, yeah, right. We put
And
it
so
upside
then
down.
they'd, or even just like the music teacher in school.
We had.
And they were always a bit
Oh,
funny, so they'd
It
do
was
it wrong.
Our head teacher was really into duties, and everyone had. If you were in the oldest year, everyone you had a duty rotation. There was a answer the telephone at break time duty. She sat in the office with a book, and the telephone rang, then you'd answer it, and if you needed to walk down to the staff room to get someone.
That's a way that people could save money in schools. Just use the kids as
Then
receptionists. You don't need
there
receptionists,
was
you've got children.
door monitors for holding the door on the way in from the playground.
Can you imagine though?
Then
If
there
they
was
use that nowadays.
the teachers have to do that.
No, but I mean, like, in some places that would work. But can you imagine doing that
In some schools,
in some schools?
more in high school.
The kids would answer the phones
in my
like,
experience, more in high school.
pizza.
Kids, the students can do kind of things like be on duty in the library to check the books in and out in the school library if they've got one. And then they get kind of credit put onto their meal cards and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
buy a drink.
They're getting paid.
Yeah.
Not just doing the thing because it needs
Only
doing.
some-
You should
there's
take
some kids
responsibility.
Some students would choose to do things, you know. I was going to say that we had a record player for
I just
playing
realised
records
just
on the
saying.
way into assembly,
Could you
which was
please
kind of
do-
at least 3 times a week, sometimes
Oh,
more.
the kids in there at Thorpe Primary, they had
But did they get to turn the music on and off?
yes. So it was a kid. I don't know who chose the. I think it was the class that was doing the assembly that week.
Right.
They had the choice of what the music was coming in and out.
Yeah.
And one of the people from that class would be responsible for turning the music on.
Yeah, that's
Well,
easy.
is
on
that
them.
right?
Did it once.
Did you?
Yeah.
See?
See, there you go. She's only good ones. Joking.
No, it was ridiculous. We got to a point where we were
It's
like,
embarrassing. Getting
we
texts
just
every week.
We can't have Star of the Week again.
Can't go
is
this
stupid.
Friday. I had to go last Friday. It's being too good.
We've had that with a few things. haven't we?
Yeah.
I like just
Got
bringing
a
them.
sad face once, and I was in year 1. I mean,
Shouldn't
Eden
weed on the
got,
carpet
Eden
then,
got a
should
sad face one time in primary school, and she's adamant that she shouldn't have got the sad face, and it was everybody was talking, and it wasn't really her fault,
it wasn't.
and she stopped when the teacher told her to stop. But
Actually,
she still
she's
got a sad
probably
face.
never been caught talking ever since. She's a very quick learner, is Eden. She's probably just.
To be fair,
with it.
I only got detention one time,
Yeah.
and this makes me sound like a real goody two shoes, which isn't the case. It's just that I don't like to what level you can push things, and I'm adamant to this day that it was a completely unfair
No doubt.
situation. It was.
Because teachers are human too. They can get it wrong.
I know, but I had an unblemished record up to that point.
Yeah. And that one detention didn't make any difference, did it?
She can discard me for life. You don't know.
Oh, there we go. So, PowerPoint is a step forward from overhead projecting. Is to move forward.
Yeah.
That's where we started this. It's definitely
No.
move forward.
I understand that PowerPoint is.
What do you think? What do you think?
Okay,
Is, where's the place to go
PowerPoint's
from
not so
PowerPoint? You've seen me do that presentation with the video inside it, in a little circle.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. But it's still a PowerPoint at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
where do we go with these things? Stuff still needs presenting.
I don't know. I like it on. We watch a program with the kids called Casey Undercover, and
yeah.
there's a robot girl in it, and she can do so her eyes act like a
Projector.
That would be cool.
But
If we could just project what we want.
she could
Without-
still be. I mean, I know she's kind of like technologically advanced. Obviously not real as well, but
She's technologically
a
advanced.
PowerPoint.
There's a robot girl with lasers in her eyes.
Yeah, like loads of really sharp, good projection.
Yeah.
That's how PowerPoints are shown now. She could be showing a PowerPoint if she wanted to. Just obviously she shows a video of moving pictures and this is the target and this is where we're going to go. It could be on a PowerPoint. Still. But she could project that. I mean, the projection means different. I mean, when I was working at 1 Million, it was all hooked up with Apple products, with Apple TV projection. It looked really good when it worked. See? So sometimes you get...
Robot girl always works.
Robot girl always works, yeah. And there is that factor as well, isn't it? We get more advanced, the more likelihood it is not to work.
And that's happening with humanity a little bit, isn't it?
Yes.
We've gotten more advanced and we're more. Well, that was morbid. I'm sorry.
It was genius, yeah.
I read
Sorry.
some really sad things on social media this morning.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Seriously, every time I nearly said every time I turn on my Facebook. Every time I go on Facebook, I'm just like,
There's a bit
wow,
in the moment.
the state of humanity is making me want to stay in bed forever.
And that's a good point, really.
Cheery,
is
isn't it?
how,
I'm sorry.
how
It's awful.
it's good to be aware of stuff, but you can then end up being too aware and it really affecting you
Yeah.
rather than being able to be effective about it.
Yeah.
Just can really get you down.
I just think like people are being so horrible. Like just horrible.
But I read something yesterday where a guy was openly saying I've made a mistake and
in his choice of words.
In his choice of words.
And it really sounds like it was genuinely, like he said something, part of a conversation, it came out wrong. And in the current climate as well. In the current climate especially.
And there was a definite 50-50 split of people saying, we really appreciate your apology, versus people who just still wouldn't accept that.
I'm basically just saying, no, that is what you actually think. And actually, you shouldn't have got it wrong in the first place. You're not allowed to make a mistake. Just horrible.
Yeah. And no one was like that. No one. Yeah. And it's really hard in a sense to say almost anything. And this was around Black Lives Matter, and it's highly emotive and very difficult to know what to say without upsetting someone. Even when you're absolutely trying your best, and I believe at the time he said it, he was trying to be part of the conversation as a solution. You know, not as, it wasn't just off the cuff remark. And you know, there's people out there who are genuinely trying to be offensive. I talked about Katie Hopkins yesterday. She just comes out with some absolute bobbins.
Yeah, but that's like her brand. Her brand is horrendousness.
Just to try and stay, I don't know, in the public eye.
Maybe she really thinks all those things. I don't know.
Maybe she does. But you know, actually, the same conversation last night. We were talking about the book. Okay, we talked about Katie Hopkins, and the same person said, "I've missed morning coffee. What did we talk about?" So we talked about Marcus Rashford and how Katie Hopkins had said something, and she came out with this thing saying, "Why don't I don't like people who name their child after name places, because then it's like that. Well, is that where you conceived your child and all this?" Then Holly Willoughby on Holly Willoughby on Good Morning, whether she was on or Holly just decided to talk about it, just went into it because they've got a child called India. She's got her own daughter called India, and then she's
but she was like, no, that doesn't count.
Really? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it. She wasn't just saying about kids that are named after places. She was basically attacking all names that are not
standard, kind of
just nice names. Anything that was a little bit different, that's not a nice name. But that could also be something like Travis. I wouldn't let my child play with somebody called Travis. That's the kind of thing she was saying. Also wouldn't let my child play with somebody called, Peach.
Very bizarre.
My child's called India, but that's completely different.
I think India is actually a lovely name.
Oh, it is a beautiful name, yeah. But it just was... So she was saying, like, the kind of kids that she wouldn't let her children hang out with at school. Like, she knows the families that are acceptable for her children to go and play with, and the families whose clearly will be a bad influence.
Yes, like all those Ethans.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So name choice was only one of the criteria that came into play when she made decisions about who her delightful children could play with. And I'm thinking,
that's really bizarre.
Which parents at that school want their kids to play with your kids?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny.
I think some people do a persona, don't they? Like what's his name? Does I can't think of his name. Keith Lemon.
Yeah, Keith Lemon.
And he goes so over the top with his characters that it's clearly comedy and it's not him. Mm-hmm. And then I've said before, I've seen him on kind of Loose Women. He's going to talk about his book or talk about being a dad and all that sort of thing. And he's a completely different, lovely guy. I just wonder with Katie Hopkins, like you say, is she just saying stuff to try and stay in the public eye? But she hasn't kind of gone so far as to kind of turn it into a comedy character, because she is almost a comedy character.
Yeah, but the thing is with her is that she's a comedy character in that what she says is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But because not everything she says, so much of what she says is so mean.
Yeah.
And she really seems to think that it's true. Like, it is kind of comedy in that it's...
Thank you, Leah.
It is comedy in that it's so off the wall.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just want to smack her.
Yeah, totally.
Which clearly is inappropriate. You can't just go around smacking people that are annoying, but...
In that kind of comedy caricature type of bracket, you've got Sacha Baron Cohen with his stuff. And
Yeah.
in a sense, he's gone down the kind of almost filthy comedy route. And I think the couple of last things he's done have
Which
been
is a shame
more.
because he's insanely intelligent.
Well, that's what I mean.
You'd
He's
think he'd have
kind
more
of
to say.
he's bought it back now to
Oh,
kind
really?
of to use it more as a tool of exposing craziness in a sense in the world. You've seen the thing where he did with the NRA guys in America, where he convinced them he was from the Israeli Special Forces, and that
Unreal.
every child in the classroom in America should have
A gun.
and be trained in how to use a gun. And he came up with this slogan for them: "What's better than a teacher with a gun to protect your kids? It's your kid having a gun." And so it was like it genuinely got these guys from the National Rifle Association, big lobbyists in America, around all the amendments about guns. They were getting on board. They were actually like, "Yeah, we'll take this. We're going to take this to Congress. We're going to take this to the Senate. We're going to, this is amazing. I can't believe we didn't think of this before." And he's like, he's filming this all in character, but then at the same time being like, "Oh my gosh, what have I started?" Because I think he's got American citizenship now. His wife's American, so
It is crazy, isn't it?
But
she's
he's probably based in America. But at the same time, he's probably thinking, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, well, he did it all as this, like
And
as an
expose it.
expose.
Yeah.
But
And that's using extreme kind of characterization for good in the end
yeah,
to kind of expose that.
but it was crazy that they were actually getting on board with it.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, it's hilarious because it's Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you're like, no, seriously.
Yeah.
People
Unreal.
actually are thinking this is a good idea. Like,
And that,
Levi's made some weapons out of wood, and I had to take them off him the other day because he was getting a little bit riled up with his sister, and I was like, I think I'll take those lovely little wooden axes you've made. Just in case. And he's a good kid.
yeah. And there are these extreme views in the world. And that's what you were saying about going on social media and finding these sad things in the sense of,
I think the thing is that I actually purposefully try and keep my social media really open in that because of the way that it's set up. If you tend to only follow people with the same views as you, that's what you'll see, right? And so if I have people on my social media with like quite extremely different views to me, I still try and keep them on my social media rather than just going, oh, well, I disagree with you, or I really dislike what you're saying, therefore I'm going to axe you off my social media, because I want to remain open to being challenged in my views about stuff. And I think if I just ditch people off because they've got completely different views to me, okay, some of what people say may be off the wall, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to say some stuff that would be a legitimate challenge to me, or that's going to be helpful. So I try and keep my social media really open. But what that has meant with during the COVID-19 crisis, and since Black Lives Matter has become such in the forefront as it should be, but it means that I've seen such opposite sides of the argument on both of those things. So people saying like total anti-vaxxers, totally saying that COVID-19 is made up, basically, and that actually we should all just go about our lives. And then the opposite end of that, saying that, those people are horrendous and everybody should be, staying indoors and wearing masks and whatever. And then the same with the racism issue. A lot of people who are kind of saying there is no such thing as white privilege, and then other people who are saying everything that you say and do is white privilege. But just the extreme ends of both of that, and the way that people are talking to each other from both ends of the conversation, where it's not a conversation actually, it's just like this visceral anger, but from both sides. And I think, man, if we don't start just having a little bit of grace and
Yeah.
and listening and being prepared to, I don't know, being prepared to kind of try and come together.
There's a concept, and it's definitely kind of been lost in the last decade, maybe longer. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's not that. If just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you can't still like them and get on with them. Yeah, we can have.
I mean, that's a bit different with racism.
It's a bit different racism, but it's
somebody's racist.
Totally. But if we just shut down anyone that has an opposite view, or maybe they don't even have an opposite view, but they say something wrong, literally, it's a stumble of words. It's they haven't really thought out what they're saying. You know, in this social media world where it's almost like if you don't say something, you become irrelevant very quickly, and a lot of people have their not their lives are built on social media, but they are in a sense of that's how their message is getting out, and then they rush to say something, and they say something a bit daft or wrong or really not thought through. Then I don't think we can always say, well, just because you've done that, just because you've said that, that's it. Because
just because you made a mistake.
If you have to, this is something I read recently, was if we actually thought about what we post on social media as a writing a letter in the old days, you think a lot more about what you write in a letter. You think a lot more about what you would click share on it, because you'd have to read a newspaper article and then reproduce it, rather than a lot of the time you can just even look at a headline and press share.
Yeah.
Twitter are actually bringing in a thing now where you can't reshare an article, a newspaper thing, whatever it is, without opening it and having read it.
Good.
Because so much stuff is just click, 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 and it just builds up a kind of, this is the truth, because that's being shared the most.
Yeah.
Whether it is or it isn't. And I'm not saying some of that stuff will be right, and some of it will be correct, and should be shared.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff that is, in a sense, opinion that's becoming fact. That
and also,
they're bringing that in to kind of try and counter it a little bit.
I think it would have been like, so say we're no one, right?
Yeah.
We do these morning coffees, but we're not, like, it was just like we started it. We've got a business. Everyone's on lockdown. We wanted to like have an opportunity to be able to keep community and keep chatting to people.
Totally.
And yet, if we had a conversation with somebody just like at the gym or in the street or whatever, and we used the wrong terminology or we stumbled or we made an error, would be with that person or with that group of people. Even if we were presenting something to a room full of people, it would be, people would walk away and go, oh man, I can't believe they said that. That was completely like out of line. And within a little bit, people would have kind of forgotten about it. The other things would have been more important. The good things that you said would have been more important. And now it becomes a soundbite. Now, if you make a mistake, if you say the wrong thing, if even just us on here, if we said the wrong thing, like that could go viral.
Yeah.
We had friends who were doing that, like for their family, like just for friends and family. They were in a supermarket, and their little girl was just making comments about the fact that all the boys' clothes, the t-shirts say cool stuff on, and all the girls' clothes say like pretty princess or whatever. And they just off the cuff did this little video and posted it on social media. It went absolutely viral, and they were getting trolled something chronic, saying like, "Oh, you're brainwashing your kids." Saying to my friend, like, "Oh, clearly you're like a total crazy woman, and nobody would ever want to be with you. You're disgusting. You're horrible. Your kid's ugly." Like really horrible. And you think, man, like you can't afford to make a mistake anymore. You can't afford to use the wrong words by accident. And as you try and start a conversation about something, the likelihood is you're going to use the wrong words. You're going to say things wrong, because that's just humanity. That's just normal life, right?
And
but you can't anymore.
There's a lot to be said for body language as well, as you're saying something, which I guess that's why video can be helpful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's unhelpful because, as you're saying, it's then recorded and someone can access it and chop it up. You know,
Yeah.
we probably put that much video out now that if someone wanted to, they could chop it up and make us say anything.
Yeah.
You find all the words, you know, and you see it in films like spy films. Oh, I definitely said this, but they've actually edited it all together. You know, maybe I should actually think about wearing a completely different
that's
T-shirt
it.
every single day, so they can't do it to us. Yeah,
Just in case.
just in case.
Them
Maybe I should
spies, them spies.
maybe I should grow my hair or something. You know? Back to
Awful.
back to 2015, having a bit of spiky hair and all that sort of
You've
thing.
lost more hair since then, baby. It wouldn't work.
I haven't lost more hair. It's a choice. I cut this on as a choice.
Ah.
There you go. Anyway, that's been good this morning. That's a lot of stuff. Morning, Connor. That's really cool.
Yeah. So sorry for my super sad moment of having been on social media this morning.
But you know that's our life, isn't it? When we say our life, that's a lot of people's lives. Is that, you know?
Yeah.
We end up reading things that are going to affect us one way or the other, and you know, it's good to have those kind of to think about it, have those conversations,
Yeah.
and try and be part of the answer rather than the problem of share and just get into disagreement either actually or kind of offline disagreement and start to dislike on a lot of people and things like that, you know, without in a sense even knowing them. So cool. Have a really good day. Lee's just come on. It's his birthday today.
Ah, happy
birthday, Lee.
birthday,
Have a
Lee.
really good day.
Woo-woo.
I hope you saved some calories, and then you can save some more next week. You'll be fine. You know, have a great day
Don't
today.
even think about
It's
calories.
Also, I think it's also
Calories don't count on your birthday.
Oh well.
Cake for life.
Oh my gosh.
Cake for breakfast. Cake for
It's
breakfast.
just ruined my whole health and fitness business. Someone's going to cut that out now. So
Yeah.
Mark's wife Hannah says calories on your birthday are completely free. They do not count towards any total.
They don't.
They don't for today. You have to pay it back.
No,
It's
you don't.
It's an overdraft.
It's not an overdraft.
It's an overdraft.
Enjoy
of
your
food.
birthday.
Definitely
I
enjoy your
apologise
birthday,
for my
Lee.
husband.
Yeah, have a really good day. All right, have a good one. That's a bit of a positive finish. Better. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
See ya.